my Snoopers? It's your girl, Tony Michelle, a.k.a. Fat Girl Snooper. You know why I'm here. I am here just to drop some of my 2 cents on some latest celebrity deets. And we're going to get into some Mariah Carey family drama. We're also going to talk about Tekashi 6ix9ine and the message he has for people who label him as a snitch. And last but not least, I'm going to give my review on last night's episode of Married at First Sight. But first, let's get into some Mariah Carey news. Now, her brother, his name is Morgan Carey. He's 61 years old. He is 10 years younger than Mariah, is now suing her for falsely portraying him as violent when they were growing up. In her new book, The Meaning of Mariah Carey, that actually came out this past September. Now, according to his lawsuit, he said that many passages about me in the book are false and defamatory, personally invasive and painful, and have caused serious damage to my reputation and to my personal and business affairs. This is according to the court document. Now, the court papers also allege that her brother allegedly lost out on a major film deal that was in negotiation because of the stuff that Mariah put in her book. Now, also, I learned, I was doing a little research about Morgan. I actually learned that he does have a successful career. That includes being a celebrity fitness trainer. And according to the court docs, when they spoke about him being a fitness trainer, it says that it brings this action more in sorrow and disappointment in his sister's betrayals and malicious falsehoods than in anger at them. This is what the suit alleges. Now, Morgan highlights a lot of the excerpts from the book and the ones that actually refer to him, and he insists that they are nothing but mere gossip and of pure, bad intentions, pure to put him in the bad spotlight. Okay. Now, he also claims that the passages make him look like that he was very violent towards their father, but he is saying that that is an absolute lie, that him and his father actually has and always had a great relationship, and he was never abusive to his father. Now, the court docs also claim the violence was entirely one-sided, with the plaintiff being the recipient of his misplaced rage. Now, in the memoir, Mariah also claims that her older brother once slammed their mom into the wall. That also Morgan absolutely denies. And according to reports, he feels very betrayed and deeply hurt and very, very, very violated, when it comes to his sister putting all those so-called lies out in the streets. Now, Carey also dished the tea that he was once admitted to a kid's psych ward and basically in the book made him out to be a problem child. And because she did that, he feels super violated. He's like, wow, you gonna put my HIPAA out in the street, my health information out in the street? Dang, sis. Now, the suit also, so basically she blames her brother for the bad relationship that they had with their father because he was such a problem kid. And the suit also claims that Mariah made it seem like her brother was trying to extort money from her. Now, in this excerpt in her book, it reads, "I paid him back 5,000 times over, and I would continue to pay and pay." Now, the court docs also show that Morgan is claiming defamation of character when Mariah called him sometimes, in the excerpt of the book, it reads, "Sometimes drug dealing, been in the system, drunk, a brother, That's according to the court documents as well. Now, according to reports, no one knows exactly how much he is suing his sister for, but I can bet my bottom dollar that it is going to be in the millions. Okay? You know how family do. Okay? Especially when they feel like you're making a dollar off of them. But look, this is my 2 cents, okay, when it comes to that. You can't, and this is to Morgan Carey. You cannot tell Mariah how she felt being, her view on her childhood. You can't do that. And you got to think about it. She's looking at it as, so what? She's 10 years younger than you. So what? She was probably what? 5 and you was 15. So, I mean, you got to keep that into consideration. But, you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Do you all think that this suit will go anywhere? I don't think so. I think it's going to be thrown out just like some people may have thrown out this book. You know what I'm saying? No shade. I'm just saying. Because, I mean, I did skim through the book. And to be perfectly honest, there was nothing that I personally didn't know. Because the rumors were always out there. So it's nothing she really dished out to me. But you let me know in the comments, do you think her brother should sue? Do you think he has a case? Or do you think it's going to be chucked out? But let's move on to Tekashi 6ix9ine. Now, Tekashi 6ix9ine does not believe what he did in court that day to save his own derriere should be considered as snitching. And he went on TMZ to actually air his argument out. Now, I have the little snippet for you. And I'm going to let you guys take a look at and, come up to your own conclusion. But as far as we all know, Tekashi was and became the star witness in his 2018 RICO case. Remember that? He was the one that testified against his fellow gang members. And because he testified against his affiliates, that led to his testimony, led to their conviction. And since he's been labeled a snitch, and, he's been labeled a snitch ever since. But now 6ix9ine begs to differ on how people view him as a snitch. And he let it all out on TMZ. Now, his argument is it all boils down to loyalty, or in his case, a lack thereof. But he does, I hate to say this, and please still love me after I say this. After I watch this snippet I'm about to play you, I actually think that he made a decent point. Okay? Because think about it. He's beefing with just about everyone. And we're talking about from the east to the west to the north to the south. Hell, he probably beefing with somebody in Hong Kong or Zimbabwe somewhere for all we know. But it's like he beefs with everybody. And because of that, he ultimately became a target, but not from his enemies, from the people that was actually surrounding him, including his security team, allegedly, and his then girlfriend, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? So, he was like basically saying like, he was trying to duck from the enemies, where all along his enemies were actually his frenemies. Now, remember when Tekashi was kidnapped by his own security team back in 2018? Now, there was a video out on, it was like some kind of like dash cam video and surveillance footage. And they took him for a ride around the block. And allegedly, he was threatened at gunpoint. They ordered him to ante up the cash and the jewelry that he had at his New York house. And, And they said that basically, his then girlfriend had something to do with it, allegedly. But I want you to check out this 6ix9ine. I want you to listen to 6ix9ine talking to TMZ, and now I'm gonna come back with my commentary.
These are my people. Like, how many people I beefed with in 2018? I beefed with the whole West Coast. I beefed with the Houston. I beefed with Chicago. Did I ever get kidnapped by Chicago or Texas or West Coast? Did I ever get kidnapped by them, or I got kidnapped by my own people? What I did, it wasn't snitching. What I did was being smart and realize that God put me there to cut my grass so I could see the snakes in my grass.
So, in other words, 6ix9ine feels like he doesn't owe nobody ish, including fans, including haters, and even including the guys that he put behind bars. Because in his eyes, it's an eye for an eye. I got you before you got me. You know what I'm saying? And as you heard, he also said that what he did was smart. He got them before they got him. You know what I'm saying? So, but however, 6ix9ine, I beg to differ that these trade affiliates are going to let you like slide that easy. I mean, but again, this is the same little guy who talks mad ish behind some 8'8" security guards. You know what I'm saying? But like I told y'all in the last video that I spoke about him, he better keep his new security team happy and on the payroll, because the minute he slacks up, it's going to be a situation. You know what I'm saying? But let me know what you think in the comments about Tekashi 6ix9ine argument. Is he or is he not a snitch? Let me know. Drop your 2 cents in the comments. Now, lastly, I'm going to do my review on Married at First Sight, Season 12, Episode 8. And in a nutshell, it was really boring. Lifetime, you are dead wrong. You knew that we wanted to see, you guys hyped up this Paige and Chris and his ex-fiance sit down, and you actually literally saved it for the last 15 minutes of a 2-hour episode that I could never get back in my life. Shame on you. Now, you guys know, if you ever watched a series like this, they always feature each couple every 15-minute segment, but somehow or another they did not really show Paige and Chris until the end, which really blew my mind, because it's bad enough that I was on pain medication for my tooth, and so I was like half asleep, half up, half asleep. But I had to watch it for you guys, okay? I had to watch it so you guys won't have to. But I'm just gonna break it down. What happened? It was basically, they didn't even need to even have that extra 45 minutes. But let's start with Virginia and Eric. Now, Virginia, of course, is the younger girl. Eric is the once married before older guy. In this episode, we actually learned that Virginia went away to Savannah to attend one of her friends' weddings with her girlfriends. To me, I think that was a little white lie, because we all know that Virginia, her drinking hours basically start at 5 o'clock Thursday to midnight Sunday. I'm just saying, that's just my opinion. Now, I just think she wanted to get away from Eric's ass. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, I'm going to a wedding all the way in Savannah, and I'll be gone from Thursday to Sunday. So anyway, they show Eric out there walking her dog and taking care of her dog, and he runs into Ryan. They're talking about their relationship, and Eric is just basically saying, oh well, I'm used to living with a mate. And that's one thing that annoys me about Eric, is that he's always bringing up the fact that he was married. He keeps on bringing that marriage into this new marriage, and he can't do that, and he acts like he is this girl's father instead of her husband. Now, so flash forward. This is also the episode where they invite their friends over and they talk about their relationship. So he was talking to his friend and he basically was like, he just wanted to make sure that Virginia actually missed him while he was gone and basically like so I'm like, oh, that's like sweet, like, oh, I hope Virginia does miss him while he's gone, but then later on we find out once Virginia came home that she basically had to call him every hour, every 60 minutes. So please tell me, Eric, how is she supposed to miss you where she has to call your ass every 60 minutes? Like you actually having this girl check in like you're her father. That's crazy. Okay? Also, they Virginia, all this was also the episode where Eric met Virginia's friends. Just so happened these are all men, and they actually took Eric aside and tried to reassure Eric that basically there's nothing going on with them, and that Eric has to basically understand her, or he's going to lose her. And I just feel like if Eric just backs off a little bit, just a little bit, that he might have a chance with Virginia, because he's more settled in, she's more party, so he could kind of like settle her down, but not the rate he's going, not the rate that he's going trying to be her dad instead of her husband. Now let's move on to Ryan and Clara. All I gotta say about them is Ryan, shave it, shave it, shave it. And my other advice to you, Ryan, is to please give Clara some pain, okay? She is sexually frustrated. Now, I can understand that you didn't want to kiss her the first time you met her. I understand that. But now it's been 2 weeks and you haven't even kissed this lady yet. And according to her, she hasn't even seen you without a shirt. Give that lady some pain. But I am interested because Clara said they do some other physical activities. I wonder what she's talking about. I mean, did he go downtown? Or is she talking about some squats or something when she say things did get physical? Let me know in the comments what you think about that. And moving on to Vincent and Brianna. So apparently, like last week, Vincent just walked out, left her. And we found out this week that he actually did not go home like he said that he was going to go home after he got mad. That he actually was in the parking lot. But my 2 cents is that I believe that it was actually production that probably convinced his Tish to go back inside that house. You know what I'm saying? They're like, no, Vincent, please go back inside the house. So I think it was more production than him. But he says that he came back because he's trying to change. He is, because he has to support his wife. He has to be there for their dog, unlike others we know. And he's basically trying to have a nice attitude towards his wife, I would say. But in this episode, he actually sat down with his friend Jalen, and he actually told Jalen the champagne story. And the champagne when he spilled all over himself. And then, she didn't offer to wipe it up. Instead, she said, "Oh, that's such a Vinny thing to do." So so he was telling his friend the story about how he was trying to impress her by bringing the bottle of champagne out, and it spilled everywhere. And his friend Jalen, who is such a mood, okay, he was like, "Oh, so champagne Vinny," and y'all know that Vincent hates to be called Vinny. But he also told his friend that, he tries, the respect means a lot. So his friend was like, well, what was so disrespectful? He was like, well, I had the champagne over my shirt and she didn't run and get a towel and wipe me down like Boosie. You know what I'm saying? And his friend was like, so that's disrespect? And when I tell y'all his friend was cracking up, his friend was cracking up at the story because just like us, millions of people watching this show, we were wondering why the hell Vinny was really so mad. I think it goes beyond that champagne and that t-shirt, you know what I'm saying? I mean, this sensitive Vinny, I'm gonna need for you, I'm sorry, sensitive Vincent, I'm gonna need for you just to chill out a little bit, man. Learn how to take a little jokey joke. My goodness. But Brianna also, this man is sensitive, so kind of like watch what you say, I guess. But let's move on to Haley and Jacob. Now, I don't see these two being together, although I do love Jacob. I think Haley is being way over the top. She also sat down with her friend and was telling her friend that, she doesn't feel that they have like any sort of chemistry. And her friend was like, why? And then she said, well, basically, she went through his closet. He has a whole bunch of 80s clothes and he's like out the loop or whatnot. And so her friend was like, just like how we all think, how I think especially, that she's just shallow. She was like, you didn't say anything about him, like not being a nice person, not having a good personality. The only thing you're talking about is his clothes. So her friend just told her, just to try harder. And her friend was like, I do see that her heart is in this. Where, girl? Where do you see that her heart was in this? Because I don't see that Haley is attracted to Jacob, not one bit. Okay? Not one bit. But it was good to see this episode that they finally sat down and had a conversation to get to know each other. But frankly, Haley reminds me of Virginia. She just wants to get away from her man by any means necessary. Like this whole season, with the exception of two couples, these couples are basically, especially the women. The women are drinking more than the guys. And the women are basically hauling tail from the guys, with the exception of Paige. Now, speaking of Paige, let's get to this. Now, I don't know if this is even worthy of a review because, like I said, I was disappointed at the fact that they actually waited to literally the last 15 minutes to show her the BS sit down between Paige, Mercedes, and Chris. But before that, Chris actually called Paige over the phone. It was trying to talk small talk. Oh, what you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm busy. I'm getting some stuff together. So he was like, well, since I married you a few weeks ago and I told you I wasn't attracted to you and I told you I wouldn't even take care of you and I wouldn't even take care of your dog, but I was wondering if you could sit down with me and my ex-fiance, my pregnant ex-fiance, so we could all be on the same page. And she was like, oh, I have to pray about it and think about it. Girl, you knew you was going. You knew you was going. You was not praying. You knew you was going. But anyways, they actually sat down and Chris all looking all dumbfounded with this. Oh, wait, hold up. Let me go. I got to go back. So before all of that, Chris actually sat down with his pastor. Now, side note, I thought I had a picture of him, but I must have left it on my other computer. But y'all, I don't care what y'all say. Pastor Dwight is fine, yoin. And I need to find out what church he preaches in because I need to go there. on a weekly basis and pay my tithes. He is that fine. I will pay 2 tithes. I will pay the tithes at my church and the tithes at his church. That's how much dedicated and fine I think he is. But anyways, Chris sat down with both his pastors, Pastor Dwight and Pastor, I forgot his name. But anyways, they sat down and Chris tells his pastors that, hey, I'm ready to divorce. I want to divorce Paige. I got my ex fiance pregnant, and that he basically had sex with Paige because he thought it would magically somehow make him attracted to her. Now, both his pastors tried to talk him out of it. Chris called it attitude and basically was like, I'm not talking about this no more. I'm getting a divorce. End of story. I didn't ask for y'all opinions, but really you did ask for their opinions. That's why they sat down with your dumb ass. Oh, I can't stand Chris. But so fast forward to this meeting with Paige, him and his so-called ex-fiance, pregnant ex-fiance. And I don't know about y'all, but I did not see the belly at all. Like the girl didn't even look pregnant, but allegedly she was 6 weeks. No, she was like, I don't know I forgot how many weeks she said she was, but she was a few weeks at the sit down, but I didn't see no belly. And to me, I just think Chris was lying about the whole thing. And I think this fiance was in on it. I'm just going to say it. Because that lady had on a Fashion Nova dress and she was looking quite snatched for a pregnant woman, okay? And I think she was like, she said she was like 6-7 weeks. So, I mean, not a bulge, nothing, not no bloated. Nothing, okay? Now, they all sat down and the girl called Paige beautiful. Paige was like, oh, you too, and blah, blah, blah. And so, in a nutshell, the ex, basically, after she found out that Paige came out talking about she thought she was pregnant, girl, you knew you was a pregnant girl. You didn't think you was pregnant. But she said that basically she thought that, that she thought that she was pregnant, and the girl was like, well, how could you think, how could you be pregnant when, that y'all use protection? And Paige was like, no. So then she was actually shocked at Chris that, hey, you didn't use protection with this girl? Like the ex-fiance looking at him like, you didn't use protection with your wife? The nerve. But in a nutshell, the sit down was whack. Nothing really didn't get resolved. The only thing that we did confirm is, according to the ex, that they would not get back together. But I really believe that was only because she found out that Chris could have potentially got Paige pregnant. But I would have to rate this episode a straight F, only because you waited to the last 15 minutes of the episode to finally showing us the sit down that you could have basically kept. So that's my 2 cents on that. Let me know your 2 cents on tonight's episode down in the comments. Well, that is my time, my snoopers, but we have a lot to discuss in these comments down here. But let me know what you think about all that Mariah Carey family drama, and what about Tekashi 6ix9ine? Do you all feel, after hearing his explanation, that he is still a snitch? And what did you all think about last night's Married at First Sight episode? Was it drawn out to the point where it was straight boring, or what? And don't forget, you can always catch me every day on my website, fatgirlsnoop.com. And if you like this podcast and you want to see more of my Fat Girl Snoop shenanigans and all of my 2 cents, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. But I will see you all tomorrow with more of my Fat Girl Snoop 2 cents. And until then, my snoopers, it is PHAT, as in pretty, hot, and tempting. Bye for now.
Listen, I'm just here dropping off my 2 cents.